Hey, what's up guys, Gypsy, and we are back here today with another Borderlands 3 build video. Hope you guys all had a great New Year's, great Christmas. It's good to be uploading videos again, and I'm pretty keen to bring you guys this. This is a build that I've been working on for about a week or so now. I've been collecting the parts and really just practicing out this build in both the Slaughter Shaft, General Mobbing, and the Melawan raids. So yeah, pretty keen to give you guys this one. So this build is going to be centered around the Stagecoach, which is an epic rarity Jakobs Shotgun. This is a weapon that I overlooked for a lot of my sort of first playthrough and a lot of my endgame content early with Flak, but recently it's been gaining some popularity thanks to Dequan and Raytor, who are Flak players who have popularized it with the Fadeaway action skill, and I will be showing you guys my Fadeaway build with the Stagecoach after. But after seeing that and after just being really excited to use, I love Jakobs, it's easily my favorite manufacturer. I wanted to see how I could build a rack build that really got the most out of the Stagecoach, and I'm pretty happy with what I've come up with. I'm going to be showcasing that in the video. I'm going to jump right into it. So the reason why the Stagecoach is so good with Flak is because the racks are going to constantly be proccing this on action skill and anointed effect, so you're going to be getting all that increased damage from the anointment on this gun, stacked with the elemental bonuses from our shield and our grenades. So this is similar to the Maggie. Like I did my previous Rakk Attack build, my Grim Reaper rack build, and I showed you guys how effective the Maggie could be with these on action skill and anointed effects. And if you guys missed that, make sure you go and check that out, because it's a lot of fun, that build to use. But it's similar with the Stagecoach. With the Maggie, you're only getting six bullets per shot. With the Stagecoach, you're getting 25. This is like a perfectly spec'd out Stagecoach as far as I'm aware. So you're getting, each pellet is getting that damage increase from the Stagecoach, as well as the elemental buff from your shield and your grenades. So it's a lot of damage, it's a lot of fun. You can really get up in the face of the enemies and just blow them away, and I'm going to show you how effective it can be. So we're kicking it off with weapons here. The star of the show is the Stagecoach, which I will be using for most of the gameplay. I've recently come across this Lifesteal Maggie, which is a cool kind of novel Maggie. It can be really useful because the nature of the build, you're getting up close and personal with the enemies. You're not really staying back. You don't have the aggro pull of Gamma Burst. You don't have the sort of invulnerability of Fadeaway. So sometimes you will be getting really low on health and just hanging on thanks to Last Stand and the Stopgap's immunity phase. So it can actually be useful to have this lifesteal anointment effect on the Maggie, particularly in the raid, in Melawan raid, and also in the Slaughter Shaft. Of course, you can like interchange this with, I like to interchange it with my like on action skill and damage increase Maggie. This thing is just a monster. But you really don't even need that high damage. It's just this has utility and healing, so it can be useful. And then the last two slots or whatever, really, you pretty much just use the shotgun. I've been running around with the Becker because it's my favorite assault rifle, and the redistributor is pretty nice for armored targets, whittling them down quickly. I tend to run with a lump in the 4th slot most of the time, just for clearing mobs in the Slaughter Shaft. It's a lot of fun to use. But you can use the iron cannon, which is going to get you a guaranteed second wind most of the time. That is what I'd recommend, but personally for me, I find the iron cannon a bit trivializing the game. It's probably going to get balanced because it's ridiculously broken, but you could definitely use that. As far as shields go, like I said, we are using the stopgap. I do recommend it. I do recommend the stopgap for this build. You could get away with the Rico as well, which is a new shield introduced in the Handsome Jack DLC, which has a lot of bullet reflection on it, really solid shield. But I found the invulnerability phase of the stopgap to be a really nice thing to have on this build, because you are going to be in the middle of the fight with the Stagecoach. You could also use the transformer for the bullet sponging ability of that shield, but the Rico is probably the better choice there. If you're doing the raid on Melawan, you may want to consider using the transformer or the stopgap. Either of the two are really useful there. As far as grenades go, it really doesn't matter. I've been switching up between this Hex and this grenade here, Spring Splitter Exploder, which is an insane grenade. I'll show you guys how fun this thing is to use. This is nuts. But Recurring Hex, it's solid with Megavore. Tendrils can crit, activating head count, and leave no trace, which is really useful. Depending on what you're fighting, you're gonna want a different elemental effect. If you're going up against a lot of armor targets, you're gonna want to be using corrosive and cryo for the most part. If you're facing shield and flesh enemies, you can go with fire, you can go with radiation. I use the Mitosa Santa Seeker here with the radiation anointment on it, which is really useful for stripping through shields, and is actually a lot of fun with the Stagecoach because you're getting so many kills. You're going to be proccing all the radiation explosions with this anointed effect, so it's going to be spreading to other enemies, and overall this grenade with this elemental anointment is a fantastic addition to the build. For the sake of Slaughter Shaft, I'll be sticking with corrosive because it does really help the Stagecoach rip through the armor pools of the enemies in here, especially the badasses. So there is definitely room to kind of mix and match whatever element you're facing for your situation. As far as the relic goes, I do recommend the Last Stand Auto Idol. You're gonna find it provides you with a lot of longevity, and the healing from the auto idol aspect of it is just really useful in conjunction with the Rakk healing that you're gonna get on this build. This is one of the best rolls you could get on this auto idol here. So I've got shotgun damage, I've got an increased mag size, which is really appreciated by the Stagecoach. And increased area of effect damage is really nice when you're using the lump or big launchers or splash weapons like that, which I do tend to use. It also buffs the damage of the racks and the grenades, so that's a nice bonus. Now we get to the mod, and there's a lot of mods you can use on Flak. In my opinion, the best mod for mobbing in general is this Cosmic Stalker mod. This mod is so much fun. I've tried all the others, and every time I go back to the Cosmic Stalker, even for bossing, I don't even switch up to Deadeye for... I don't really switch up to Bounty Hunter for bossing either, because Cosmic Stalker is just so much fun. If you are facing a boss, the Bounty Hunter mod has a lot of upsides to using it versus boss fights, but personally for me, I just stick with the Cosmic Stalker. Flak's DPS is already insane, and this just bumps it to incredible levels. This is a mod that I spent a while hunting down. It does have shotgun damage and Jakobs crits that really complements the Stagecoach, obviously. And it also has mag size increase, which is going to give you more DPS. You're going to have to be reloading less on the Stagecoach, which is important. If you're running a build like this and you're using multiple Jakobs weapons, you can also go for one here, like this one here. Weapon damage increase in Jacob critical over shotgun. You get less of a damage increase overall, but it means your Beckers and your Maggies are also receiving that 25% damage, whereas in the first case it's just my shotgun. But because I'm just going to be using the Stagecoach in the gameplay, I'm just going to stick with this mod here. Ideally, you want a Cosmic Stalker with +2 in big game. The more the better, but that +2 in big game is going to really bear fruit, as you're going to get, you see here, 5 out of 3 in big game is going to give us 50% additional hunter skill effects and extended duration, which means, yeah, when you're in dense mob situations, your hunter skills are pretty much always going to be up. So we'll kick it off here with the hunter tree. This is very similar to the to my Grim Reaper Rakk build, which I uploaded recently on my channel. It's you'll see we are actually speccing into Second Intention instead of speccing into Two Fangs. So we want that reload speed that this provides. It's really, really nice for the Stagecoach, because the quicker you can reload, the quicker you can keep pounding away at enemies, blowing off their heads. So you'll find that the Two Fang skill, whilst it's great with single or low projectile count weapons like the lump. If I'm using the lump, I might invest in Two Fang, but for general mobbing like this, you can really get away with just not investing in it. It's not going to help too much with Maggies and Stagecoaches. It's really more beneficial for low projectile count weapons. Unfortunately, we can't invest in Furious Attack yet. We could, but the gains from 1 point into pack tactics is actually more beneficial. Than you get more of a DPS increase than Furious Attack. When the level cap increases, oh man, I'm excited for that. But yeah, we're speccing down all the way down here into 5 out of 5 into Barbaric Yop, which is going to really up our DPS of the Stagecoach. Really important. I chose to invest 1 in Mutated Defense over 2 in Pack Tactics, and that's because we really want to keep our pet as healthy as possible. If he can remain up, it's going to mean that we're doing more DPS. Because of the shield and relic that we are using, we can actually like pause in the middle of the fight and go and heal our pet if he goes down, but most of the time he does tend to stick around. We do have Who Rescued Who here, so the more damage we deal, the more our pet heals. So it's a pretty useful way of keeping our pet up. He will go down sometimes if there's like huge rocket fire, but for the most part the pet does a pretty great job of sticking around, which you're going to see. Here's my Guardian rank if you guys are interested, and these are the modifiers. We are here on Mayhem 4, so no modifiers to increase our damage for weapons we're using. We're not using snipers, and enemy explosions, increased area of effect, so that's going to be fun here in the slaughter shaft. So I'm going to pause it here and show you guys the gameplay. Hope you guys do enjoy, and then I'm going to start discussing how you can use the Stagecoach on a Fadeaway build.
Tell me about the sky!
Much ahead of us. Distract them.
Alright guys, so that was the Rakk Attack variant of my Stagecoach build. It's a lot of fun. It's a real run and gun playstyle, and yeah, it's incredibly fun to play. It does insane damage, and yeah, it's something that I'm really enjoying playing as Flak right now. But now we're going to jump into the Fadeaway variant. This variant is pretty insane, and yeah, it is also a lot of fun to use. It does differ a bit from the Rakk. It's not as aggressive as the Rakk Attack version of it. On my Rakk build, you've got to be firing out your racks, getting kills, using the last stand and the shield to sort of stay nice and healthy. It actually rewards really aggressive play, in my experience. But this version with Fadeaway is a little bit more, I guess, safe. You can be a bit more conservative with it, and that is due to having access to Fadeaway instead of racks. So the hunter tree remains the same here, but instead of investing in the master tree like we did with the previous Rakk build, we're going to be using this stalker tree here, investing into Fadeaway. We're not going to be taking gorillas in the mist. We're going to be using the standard 3-shot Fadeaway, which gives us a longer duration. It gives us more crit damage, and it's perfect for the Stagecoach because we're not going to be wanting to rapid fire it. I'm going to go into how you can actually accumulate just crazy damage with this soon, but because we're not speccing into gorillas in the mist, we have an augment free, and we're going to be using Not My Circus. This is a really nice way of creating a similar sort of situation as a Gamma Burst build with Red Fang, where your pet can pull the aggro with Taunt. With Not My Circus, after our Fadeaway ends, our pet is going to pull aggro. It's going to gain damage reduction and pull aggro for 6 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's well and truly enough time for Flak to get his cooldown back. You know, abusing head count, this amazing skill right here. Using head count we're going to be scoring crits, and head count is going to be reducing our cooldown time. So that 6 seconds is really useful for us to get back into Fadeaway and continue taking out the enemies. So the last augment is, of course, Unblinking Eye for increased crit damage every time we shoot the same enemy in Fadeaway, and that's going to be very easily done with the sort of reasonably large spread of the shotguns. So we're going to be getting some nice health regen. I'll just quickly go over the skills for this. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with the Stalker tree, we're going to be getting health regen from self-repairing systems. It's okay, it's pretty useful because we are getting health regen from a few different sources, so just constant health regen for us is pretty nice. It does improve our max health as well, which is useful, as that sort of scales with the health regen we're getting from our auto idle, as that's based on max health. So increasing our max health means that 18% that we're getting from our auto idle is also increased relatively. So that's nice. Furious Attack is really nice. It's a hunter skill that is boosted by big game, so that's important, and that's going to be giving us a nice damage increase every time we shoot at an enemy. A couple of points into Eager to Impress, just to get down the tree and give us some more cooldown time when we kill enemies, which we're going to be doing constantly. Turntail and Run is going to give us some useful health regen while moving and damage reduction, and then some nice gun damage and fire while standing still, which is something you can capitalize on whilst in Fadeaway. Then we have Hidden Machine here. This is a really nice multiplicative damage skill that can be abused whilst in Fadeaway. It's obviously really useful, as well as when you're out of Fadeaway and your pet is taunting with Not My Circus. That's a nice use for that skill there. And lastly, Fast and the Furious, a couple of points in here for some more gun damage, which is pretty sizable gun damage and movement speed bonus there. So those are the skills, but now I'm going to break down why this is so effective with the Stagecoach. So when you use Fadeaway, you enter Fadeaway, you've got your 3 shots. Each of those shots deal 200% increased crit damage. When you exit Fadeaway, your on-action skill end anointed effect of the Stagecoach begins. So for 12 seconds, you've got 100% extra weapon damage. You've also got the anointed effects of your shield and your grenade. This was the case in the Rakk build. We were constantly activating this. This is why we had such crazy damage up all the time. Where this gets crazy with Fadeaway is the speed in which your action skill cools down means that you can actually enter Fadeaway whilst these anointed effects are still taking place. So a lot of the time in practice, you can and fadeaway, proc all these skills, and then after 1 or 2 shots, because there are so many pellets in the Stagecoach, and that is activating head count over here, we're going to be scoring crits a lot with the Stagecoach, thanks to Megavore. It's going to be increasing our chance to score crits, and if you're a good aim, you can aim for the head, which is going to be reducing your action skill cooldown. This means that it's much quicker for you to get back into fadeaway, and there's a pretty good chance that when you re-enter fadeaway, your anointed effects are still going to be in effect, plus you're going to be having that 200% fadeaway crit damage, which is absurd. And where this gets even crazier is the Guardian rank skill. The Guardian rank skill overkill. So excess damage from a kill is added to your next shot. Now if you're running around headshotting like trash mobs, you're just accumulating all this overkill damage, similar to the ion cannon. It's how people get one shots on bosses with the ion cannon. The same is true for the Stagecoach. You can really rack up a ton of that overkill damage and abuse the fadeaway with these anointed effects of the weapons. So you're probably going to see a little bit of that in the gameplay. It just depends how quickly you can get your cooldown back, but it's a really nice way of looping those anointed effects to be in effect when you're in fadeaway, and when that happens, it's just insane. So yeah, I hope you guys understand that. I hope it wasn't too much, but I just wanted to articulate how this build can get the damage that it can get, because it's pretty amazing when it all comes together. So I'm going to pause it here, and we're going to jump into some gameplay of the fadeaway variant in action, and you're going to see just how good it is.
Try it again, and this time, don't fucking embarrass yourself!
Alright guys, so that was the fadeaway footage using the Stagecoach build of mine. Hope you guys did enjoy. Now if you guys would like to win one of these Stagecoaches, they are super rare as far as I've found. So I'll be giving away 3 of these. If you guys want to go in with a chance to win one of these, all you need to do is be subscribed to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave your PSN in the pinned comment below. I do play on PS4, so I can't send it to any Xbox or PC players, but if you guys are on those platforms and you are looking for it, my advice would be to try the trading forums, to try Borderlands Discord servers. There's heaps of trading channels where people are willing to trade, so you might find one of those in there. But for those PS4 guys, I can definitely hook you up. Three winners will be walking away with a Stagecoach. So leave your PSN in the pinned comment below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more of these builds to come, and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. I'm just going to round the video out with some gameplay showcasing how solid radiation can be as the element on our grenades. So I'm going to do like wave, I think it's like round 4 or something like that, using the radiation anointed grenades. So hope you guys do enjoy that. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy, and let me know what you think of the build in the comments below. And yeah, I'll catch you next time.
Your enthusiasm feast. One takes all.
back, my girl.